Welcome to yet another special edition of WCNN. I am Claude Bakari.
And I am Esther Njeri.
Today we are doing things a bit different. This being the weekend of stars, we realize that every established star has their own youth side. President Uhuru Kenyatta has his own youth side. Barack Obama has his own youth side too. And so does our Papa, David Oyedepo.
And so with this understanding, earlier today we went on a mission to bring out the youthful side of our resident pastor, Pastor Victor. This is how it went down.
How have you been?
Great.
Okay. Now, on to business.
Yeah.
I'd like to know who is Victor Adeniji, not Pastor Victor. Who is Victor Adeniji?
Victor Adeniji is just a young man born some few years ago. At the early 90s, I made up my mind that I'm going to fulfill my destiny to the fullest based on the things I've seen around me. But then at 1990, thereabout, I was not born again. And thereabout early 1994, thereabout, I gave my life to Christ. And that gave me an understanding of the kingdom demands, what is expected of me in order to fulfill my destiny. And since I discovered that, it's been great. It's been a great journey. Yeah.
Now, that's splendid. And we'd also like to know who would you have been if you are not a pastor?
Who
would you have been if you're not?
If I'm not a pastor,
Yeah.
who I would have been?
Yeah.
Well, I have discovered that except a man is at the center of the will of God,
Yeah.
you end up becoming nothing. So discovery of destiny or discovery of God's purpose for your life is what makes you to become somebody. To me, pastoring is not for the purpose of preaching, it's not for the purpose of the title it carries, is to fulfill divine mandate, what God has written about me. So the discovery of that divine mandate led me to ministry. That's about 15 years ago. God said to me in just a simple statement, He said, you are a refreshing to your generation.
Yes.
You are a refreshing to your generation. And when I came in contact with the Liberation Commission under the leadership of my spiritual father, Bishop David Oyedepo, I saw that the commission of liberation was sent to liberate people from all oppressions of the devil.
Yes.
And when you remove oppression, refreshing has come. And so that's how I took a step towards becoming or being enlisted as a pastor in this ministry. He said, join this chariot, because from there you begin to fulfill your destiny in a grand style.
People have fears, and we'd like to know how was your first experience on the altar?
I began pastoring in Osun State,
Yeah.
Nigeria, and having observed our leaders in ministry, I came in contact with a book that helped my life very early when I stepped into ministry, In the Footsteps of a Prophet. That book established my feet in followership. And talking about my first time on the altar, I must tell you it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
You know, the fear is there. The first day I will climb the altar, one thing I remember, I have a call of God over my life. So that put away all fear. And like the first vice president of our mission, Bishop David Abiy said, when he took over in Kaduna, he said everybody was looking at him when he took over from God's servant Bishop David Oyedepo, that, hey, what will this young man say? What will he say? Because we have been listening to his father. What would he say? I look straight into their forehead. He said, I speak to the microphone. The speaker will give you whatever I'm saying. So I also took courage based on that testimony. The first time wasn't easy, but as the time went by, I began to gain stamina, courage, and understanding kept coming, revelations, and that has helped me in the journey of ministry.
Now, with pastoring comes with adjustments. What kind of adjustments did you have to do in your life?
You know, I must tell you, a lot of adjustment. Because I remember when I was in secondary school, I was privileged to be the president of the press club in my secondary school. By privilege, not by skill.
Yeah.
And at the end, I ended up as the the senior prefect of the school, the head boy. So I remember all of those days of training. I began to tell myself, I think I would like to read something about political science. So now, when the call of God came, while I was on campus, because I had God for the first time in the 90s that I belonged to ministry. So when this call kept coming, and it was coming consistently, I said to myself, how will I make it through in ministry? And I discovered you have to sacrifice a lot. So number one is sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice. Because God is calling you, is different from you working in the secular. You can't undo his job anyhow. He said, whosoever will follow me must leave the fathers, the mother, his brothers and sister. So it was. This place happened to be my 12th place in the last few years that I entered into ministry. There was a place I spent 3 months. So the adjustment I can talk about is adjustment of sacrifice, because ministry is highly demanding. You may not be able to do some of the things you've been doing before. Like what? Okay, you feel like going to entertain yourself in the evening, going out with your family, but here a lineup of people waiting to be counseled, waiting to be prayed for. So maybe you are now doing that once in a week or once in 2 weeks. So a lot of sacrifices, meeting the need of the people. And I have no regret in it. God has been faithful.
Now, have you ever encountered spiritual fights, as in with witches?
Warfare.
Yeah, warfare.
That's my terrain.
Yeah.
It's my area of specialization.
Yeah, exactly.
Special area where a number of times, but they've not been able to withstand the power of God in my life. I remember when I get to any nation or any city, the first announcement is that I kill witches free. If they refuse to give their life to Christ, I kill witches free. It's one of those virtues I was privileged to be connected to in my father, Bishop David Oyedepo. I remember when I got to Zambia, it was not an easy task. People were dying anyhow, even in the church. And I declare on the altar, I said, nobody is permitted to die here until I give go ahead. They were looking at me. I said, if it's 1 year I'm spending, or 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years, within that time, nobody is permitted to die.
And basing on the sacrifices,
Yeah.
now that you travel with the wife, what impact does she have on you in this ministry?
How? Praise God.
Yeah.
My darling wife, Dickness Rejoice Adeniji, has been of help since this journey of destiny began. And I want to thank God for her life today. She's not the complaining type. She's got herself engrafted into what God has called me to do. Because I remember when we were in courtship, I made her to understand that the work of the ministry is highly demanding. And I showed her that our ministry, our own ministry, Winners Chapel International, Living Faith Church, is different from other ministry. A lot of sacrifices from Monday to Saturday. From Monday to Sunday, you are in church. Sunday is the main business day. Yeah. And as soon as they say your husband is moving, you should get ready to move with him. Everywhere I've been posted to. Everywhere. Once I'm moving, she's moving with me. A day after I landed in Nairobi, she was here. I came on Friday, she was here on a Saturday. And she shared with me when we were beginning this journey that God already told her the role she was going to play in ministry. So when I came proposing, it was just a confirmation of what God has told her before. She's teamed up with me. She's been cooperative. And I must say, some of the results I've had in life, I may not have had them except by this force of cooperation and unity coming from my wife. And I want to thank God for her life.
What's another key aspect that you saw in her that you never saw in any other lady?
Now, God told me earlier while I was preparing for marriage, I said, God, give me a description of that lady. He said, your wife will be as dedicated and committed as Mary, who kept ministering to Jesus in his ministry days. He said, your wife will be as meek as Sarah. who called Abraham, my Lord. He said, your wife will be as zealous as Ruth, who said to the mother-in-law, where you die, I will die. Where they bury you, I will be buried. He said, your wife will be as kind as Dorcas, that passed on, and the people she had helped cried to Peter and said, this woman cannot die. She's been helpful. She's been kind to us. And Peter had to pray until Dorcas came back to life. As a matter of fact, when you are searching, there are singles, single SSS, single and seriously searching, and there are single that are just searching, SS. There is SS, there is SSS. Mine was S raised to power 3, single and seriously searching, because I just came out of a relationship that wasn't working, and I had to, oh God, what do I do? And God said, settle down. Understand it first before you fall into another error. And God educated me, made me to understand what to look out for in a lady, and I found that in her. You know, when you are considering people, it may not be one person on your mind. We have to be factual. So I had about 2-3 people on my mind, but by the time I considered this virtue, she was cornering the highest, and I said, hey, this is the lady. This is the lady. You know, it's not just about the container. More importantly, about the content. The content. So talking about the content, I saw a lot of gift and treasure and potential in her, and I've never been disappointed since we got married. And the container, worth going for, I must tell you. Amen.
At times, when you are done preaching, do you ever have time to go like watch football, Manchester United, Arsenal, or
praise
have
God.
hobbies?
Now, personally, I love football so much. So I love football. Some sacrifices has taken the time I spend on it from me, but Sunday evening, I don't play with it. If I don't go out, I must be around my family and my kids, Overcomer and David Peculiar, everyone with their mom. We sit down at the sitting room. Now, initially when we got married, my wife never liked anything about football. So she kept wondering, what are you watching? This time I said, come and see Chelsea here. Some of the league going on, I think there was a time I loved Chelsea so much. Then suddenly, I think I lost interest, and then I began to follow FC Barcelona. But ask me now, okay, whose fan are you? I'm just a fan for Jesus. But I love these two teams I've mentioned. I don't know, do they still exist? Because for over 4 or 5 months now, since I came to Kenya, I've not really watched.
Now, on the parting shot as you close,
yes.
Now that you flew into Kenya, would you happen to know the Kenyan anthem, like 2 lines of it in Kiswahili? Okay, in English.
Even if you ask in English, I need to go and learn how to sing it. Kenyan national anthem in English, not even in English. So don't talk about Kiswahili. I just want to, I'll go and learn it. Truthfully, I don't know it. So maybe you will teach me.
Now there you have it. If you thought it was all about preaching and prayers 24/7 for our pastors, better think again. Our pastors have a vibrant, fun side.
Indeed. Thank you, Pastor Victor, for your precious time. It was an honor spending time with you. And also, thank you everyone for watching. I've been your hostess, Esther Njeri.
And I've been your host, Claude Bakari.
God bless
God bless you.